What up? We back with the next topic. We got to talk about this Sue Surf versus Tay Roc continuing to bubble up. Do they have real tension? Is that what's going on behind the scenes? Is that rumor building? Are people having that type of discussion? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. Is it just speculation? Maybe, maybe not. I'm going to play a clip from Chris Unbiased that I saw on Battle Rap Dose and some of the stuff that he's throwing out there in regards to this potential battle. I'm going to tell y'all early on, I have a difference of opinion as far as what Chris is laying out there, but I am switching up from something that I reported on prior when it comes to Surf and Rock. And when I do get to my difference of opinion, then you guys are going to realize why. But maybe there's something more to meets the eye here, okay? After that, I'm going to do the Cassidy versus Jay Mills. I saw a clip versus Cassidy. I'm going to play that with y'all, do some reaction to that. Shout out to Cass. Yo, Cass got a way about him, don't he? And then after that, I'm going to pull up pretty much every card that I see about to go down within like the next month and a half, 2 months. And I'm going to get into a topic there about the weight on cards. The weight, not the W-A-I-T, the W-E-I-G-H-T, the weight on cards. And I'm going to give a little piece to what happens amongst these leagues in the same space of energy, sharing promotion around the same time, and why sometimes some of them get over where other ones fall back to the wayside. All right. So if you feel like it's advice or if it's something that maybe you can tweak that'll help you, because the fans, we want to stay engaged. We don't just want the toxic drama all the time. Well, then again, depends who you're asking, right? We want to try to pay attention to the battles. And there's a lot of battles coming up, but I'll wait until we get to that topic. I'll explain more. And when we're done here, jump over to the other channel. I got to do a quick Drake topic. I'm going to mix in Kendrick and Jay-Z a little bit to that one. So don't miss that one, all right? All right, let's go. Sue Surf versus Tay Roc. When I first heard Surf in that space, right? And I heard him mention like potential opponents and Rock's name came up. I know I wasn't tripping. I didn't even cover it though. I was like, nah, it was just talk or whatever. Did he misquote himself? I don't know. I couldn't put no weight on it because I was just like, nah, not them two. Like, that don't make no fucking sense. And they battled already, right? Yeah. Watch out, Rock. They rocking your pockets type shit, right? Like, nah. But the video that I did pretty much broke down 3 reasons why the battle of Surf versus Rock would make sense. Just to give y'all a quick recap of that. I said one reason is the protection of Sue Surf and his image. He could do a lot within battle rap. He could do a lot for URL. He could do a lot for himself and his own music / battle rap career. If you put him in there with the Math, who I think is probably the top opponent as far as getting a genuine turnout, a real turnout to that grudge match, right? Even if the type of stuff that the whole world is anticipating Math to address or to speak about, even if he's totally in the wrong, you're still going to have billions of views on viral clips that's going to go all over the place. And you're going to have people that's not going to read paperwork. They're going to believe what they want to believe. They're going to say, you did this, you didn't do this, you did that. And then Surf is going to have that on his name walking around, right or wrong for possibly the rest of his career, because it's his come home battle. It's going to be a huge impact. It's going to go outside the battle rap culture. Everybody's going to tune in. The entire battle rap culture is going to cop that pay-per-view or watch that battle. And those clips will literally be in the millions, right? So if you want to protect the golden child, to not go through that type of situation, to have those type of stains where he's got to argue or people just talking about him in certain ways, you don't put him in there with a Math. So that's the protection factor. The money factor was the second one. I said, now, Surf versus Mook. Let's say hypothetically they both want to stand on 100 each, 150 each, 200 each, okay? A $200,000 to a $400,000 battle in today's market? Yeah, the only way that's happening is if you find a sponsor, somebody that's not looking for a return, somebody that's maybe giving some of the money away. Those are like some of the top scenarios that'll make a budget for one battle, one battle of the card like that happen, and I could see a Surf and a Mook, this is like their biggest possible. Well, Mook might look at it like, this is my biggest of my remaining matches. Like if I get announced with Briz, that's a big check, but it's not as much as Surf probably, right? And on Surf's side, he's got to know that this might be his biggest battle rap check. He's going to have big battle rap checks available to him after his first return back. But this is probably the biggest one, especially if it's Mook. So the financial one, or the financial aspect of Surf versus Mook, that's the second problem, right? The third one that I brought in is the sharing of the opportunity. I said it's a big situation. You don't want to like give that to Easy, the block captain. If you URL, y'all don't fuck with each other, right? So you don't just say, all right, Easy, we're gonna bring you back for this incredible mega match, Sue Surf. No. So then he wins. You know, so I did my own thing. I spit on y'all on my way out. That's Beasley's words, right? I turned around, I spit on y'all on the way out. I did all of this type of stuff. While I was over there and things calmed down for me and my stature, my league and everything, came down and declined. You guys came and called me and allowed me to come over there and battle Sue Surf on the come home. Easy beats the game. So those are the three reasons why I said, you know what? Roc does make sense. He really does. But now there's an additional reason. The fourth reason. And that's the one that I skipped over, and I went on Roc's Twitter and I said, nah, come on, we're reaching people. And I said, do they have real tension? It's a possibility. Okay. Let's listen to what Chris breaks down as far as, potential tension between Tay Roc and Sue Surf. And then I'm going to give you my reason why I think there's potential tension there, or it could be feasible. All right. Let me bring this up.
People don't want to see either. And I got to be real with you.
Hold on. My bad. I need to bring y'all in this view. There we go.
I don't think there's been a lot of people asking me what's up with Surf and Roc. Like, what's their relationship like? You haven't really seen a lot of them publicly. They're not really tweeting each other for the most part. There's no interviews together. I know Surf might be doing things with his family. I get that. I know, but it's just.
Now, mind you, like, and I'm not stripping at all Chris's points here. I'm only reacting to this in the midst because we have a difference of why we think there could be tension. So I want to give reaction so that I can have my own opinion. You guys say, all right, this is why ARP is taking that angle. Interviews together. Well, Surf doesn't have any interviews at all. Right now, ever since he's come home. The space, I don't count that. We talk about a real sit down, real interview. Hell, he might could do a paid interview. Vlad might be willing to cut him a check if he's willing to come and talk about the Rico and all that, or say Cheese. He could do paid for hell. M3S3 would cut him a check. You know what I'm saying? Like the Danza Project. Shout out to the homies down there. He could get a paid interview right now. So him not doing an interview yet doesn't key me off. Them not tweeting each other or whatever, that doesn't really key me on nothing too much either. I think Surf is trying to be a little bit more, conservative right now. I saw the tweet of, he mentioned a big bag that he got, I think, for music or something like that, right? Staying mysterious helps him right now. If he comes out and he does a million spaces, he chops into his own anticipation a little bit, okay? So I don't think it's tweeting each other, and I don't think it's interviews, to be honest. That keys it off.
Nothing. You know what I'm saying? It's not really a lot of back and forth rapport right now. People have been wondering if y'all want to battle each other, what's the relationship like? I don't really know. I do know that Roc really hasn't. I did look and see when the last time Roc tweeted something about Surf. It was basically kind of around the same time Surf did that live. Since then, I haven't seen much from Roc on Twitter regarding gun titles or even anything about Surf. I do realize Surf tweeted Roc on his birthday, happy birthday or whatever. So I don't think it's any bad blood, but my spidey senses tingling, man. You know what I'm saying? I was hearing a couple things. I don't think Roc was too crazy about Surf doing that live with Easy. I was on record. I said,
it didn't go over my head that Chris just mentioned I was hearing a couple things. If Chris says I'm hearing a couple things, he's not talking about fans. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like, what do you mean you're hearing a couple things? So I don't know if there's behind the scenes talk, which would mean that there has to be a party, possibly, for example, Surf or Roc, that might be telling people that there's something. And mind you, no matter where you think I'm going with this, we'll get there. I'm not going in like the level like they got beef. I'm not going there at all. Like, I'm not, come on. But if there's talk behind the scenes, it's got to come from at least bare minimum a semi-valid place. He said he's hearing.
Think that made Roc look that well, him doing that live. You know, Roc right now, his Twitter name is URL Tribal Chief. I think he's been kind of like holding URL down, been the guy that's like, yo, this is my league. I'm making sure shit is ran right over here. And he's been kind of like, yo, let Easy stay over there. Fuck Easy. I don't want to battle Easy. I don't want to get money with Easy. I don't want to do anything with Easy. It's URL over here. We don't need him over here. And then in one live, Surf comes home and basically gives Easy a lot of credit. He said, if you go back and listen to that live, he basically said that Easy was doing pretty good out here. He had his ups and downs, but he was doing pretty good. He was, you know, there were some things that he could have got better at that they were teaching him with gun titles and everything. But for the most part, he's been out here doing his thing. He did admit Easy had a couple hiccups and stuff like that. He had a couple little rim references in there. But he did say pretty much that he could get Easy back on URL. I know Roc probably didn't want to hear that because Roc has been like, fuck that nigga, let him stay over there with Chrome. There's no more Chrome, so let him stay over there with Trenches. For Surf to come home and just be like, yeah, I can get a nigga back over there. And even as much as to say that he damn near was acting like he would battle Easy. Easy was like, yo, you got to see me. You know, you got to see me. You know what's up. You know, you got to see me. He didn't shut that shit down. He basically, only thing he shut down was that he did not want to battle Mav.
Cool. All right. Very, very logical take there from Chris. Very logical. I'm going to tell y'all why I have a difference of opinion there, though. But I am in line that I think there's possibly something. I do believe that at this point. There's possibly something. So the reason why... All right, let me start here. When we talk about the way Surf was talking to Easy in the space, first of all, to me, that's kind of common for Surf to do. Surf has one of these modes where he comes off very, very down to earth, very, very humble. How you doing, sir? You looking good. Good to see you, man. How's the kids? How's it? Like, he has that part of him too. Like, I've seen him do that with Math in certain interactions. I've seen him do that with Joey Jihad. I think he did that with Reed. I've seen him do that in Instagram lives with people. He did that in an Instagram live with Easy before. I'm talking about before Easy even took off, like back when Easy was gun titles, right? Before the braces and everything. Surf and Easy have a live together with 3-Letter Man, and Surf is talking like that towards Easy at times. So that's what Surf does to people. Give you this whole humble thing, like, nah, you know, you've been doing real good, sir. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, and if you say something slick, then he's a slicks, then he'll come back with it, you know what I'm saying, and answer on that level. But come on, like that's like damn near a bait and switch. So I see that already as far as Surf doing that a million times over. The whole premise, though, of let's say there being tension created between Surf and Roc because Sue Surf does a space, Easy to Block Captain comes up, and Sue Surf doesn't shut down a potential matchup between them and instead says, yeah, I can get you back on URL. And then Roc goes, what? Oh, you know what? Me and Surf ain't on the same accord now. I'm the URL tribal chief. That don't make enough sense to me. The reason why that don't make no sense to me, and even if that came from, even if Roc said that, I wouldn't believe it. I would think that Roc is maybe told, and I'm not saying that Roc is telling people, but even if Roc told that to somebody, I'd be like, he's misdirected. He's lying to somebody. Even if Surf told somebody, I'm like, I think a lying. Why? Because the history of Roc and Easy has been up and down multiple. Y'all at one point was on Roc's heels, calling him a super hypocrite. People were doing blogs, putting clips, pulling tweets of him, saying that one point he was saying it's up to URL. One point he's saying it's up to me. One point, fuck Easy, I'll never do it. I won't hold. Another point, yeah, I'll kill him or whatever. Bring him over here, smack, put the what right? Y'all was calling him a hypocrite. Y'all was calling Roc a hypocrite. And Roc himself got interviews breaking down a time where he at least got into negotiations with Rem and Chrome 23. I said this about Surf once upon a time in a video when me and him was having like one of our little back and forths online. And I said, loyalty. I said, niggas, Surf, you ain't loyal because you negotiated. You got an interview on 15 Minutes of Fame saying that you took a RBE contract to URL and said, yo, Beasley, pay me this. Or that's not loyal then. You're leveraging quote unquote ops for negotiations. You're putting negotiations and business and money in front. And you're doing it in a way where you're almost, that's like when he also had the other shit when he was like, yo, if URL books Averb or Yoshi, I'm going to RBE. That's not real loyalty. That's not real principles. That's not real standing on your square. So that's why none of that shit makes sense to me, because if we're listening to any angles, or if we're believing any angles that's coming out into the public, that's coming from there's some sources behind the scenes that why bloggers or fans might even think this. If that's coming out, it don't make no fucking sense, because if Roc ever entertained Easy, at that point, that already shows similar to what you guys are claiming Surf would now do, entertain an Easy battle. Because if it's really about the square, the morals, the principles, not about no money, you violated the home team, you violated the gang, you violated gun titles, you moved a certain way, you a snake, you spit on us on the way out, you prayed on our downfall, you shit on our app, that's how we get our money over here, you shit on Uncle Smith, all of this shit, then it's the principle side of things. It's not about no business then. It's not about let me negotiate with Rem. It's not about, well, I'll do it if there's not. It's like this is where I stand. Period. There's no float shot. There's not no if then else. It's a pure decision. No, I don't get it with y'all. I don't get it with y'all, and that's what I meant about when I do topics and I talk about turncoats. When I on some would you tell on your best friend? Fuck no, never. We could do a million crimes together. I never tell on them. Would you tell them for $1 million? Let me think about it. No, it's not supposed to be if then else. It's supposed to be no. That's it. One answer. And Roc didn't always have one answer. All right. So now when Surf does it, it's cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it. No. Roc entertained Easy at times. Possibly URL. And I mean, hell, you listen to a Beasley interview, even though I know he's a politician. You listen to a Beasley interview at times, he never closes the door all the way. He's always like, oh, I don't know, this might have to happen or that might have. Like, no. Smack is the only one that said, nah, you got killed niggas like that. And then after that, it was the get on your knees and kiss the ring. And then I think his latest one opens the door a little bit more. That's like after he gets off the camera and Beasley reminds him and shit like, yo, man, like you can't be talking like that. But I told y'all, Smack represents the true feelings, which I respect. Say the real shit. Say the real shit. But it's been entertained at different times. So we not doing that. So I can't understand how Surf getting home and then saying, hey man, you might have did some shit. You loyalty or whatever. Matter of fact, he had an interview, I think, with Polo or somebody while he was locked up, and he was talking about like loyalty and whatnot. We got to talk, and he was like, they asked him about Easy. He said, you got to know who's next to you. He was pretty much saying like, oh, I know the type of person Easy was, even though these are Surf's words before he came home, before this space, before any of this. So connect the dots, people. That don't make no sense. It can't be as cool when they do it. It's a problem when I do it, especially if Surf is the bigger artist of the duo. You know, I'm the bigger draw of the duo. No. So what's a more legitimate reason to me personally? I could be wrong as fuck. I'm just giving y'all my take on this. That would divide these two guys. It would have to be real life shit. I don't want that to sound so simple, but everything isn't battle rap, people. I hope it ain't. It better not be. Everything isn't always battle rap, okay? So at that point, I don't want to over speculate because now I'm just overreaching, but I want us to think bigger than a space or him entertaining Easy when everybody done entertain the battle at some point. If Easy would go online right now and apologize to URL and say, I'll do the battle for free, they would have him booked tomorrow. What the fuck? So it's not about that shit, people, right? It's not about that. it's got to be more than deeper than rap. So if Rock and Surf have any type of tension and the guy is fresh and Surf, the guy is fresh home, then something happened while he was in there. Possibly. Or maybe something didn't happen if you staying with me while he was in there. That happens when a lot of people come home. Sometimes it could even just be standoff nature. Sometimes people come home and they in a shell because they had to fend for self. They didn't have their friends and their family their whole time with them. You know, like their friends and family could only do but so much for them. Then they come home and they still have an isolated aura. All right. Just isolated aura. Whereas, all right, you guys seen on cam us rapping on stage. Hey, Rock, that's rap shit. What I just went through fighting this Rico shit and then serving some time off my life, what was real fucking life. I'm not able, that's not about no Hey Rock on stage. So you come home isolated, right? Which can within itself create distance between people. Even people's mentalities when you locked up, it changes them. You come home talking about battle, not battle chess, not battle rock. Why not? I was caught up in all this gun titles, battle rappy shit, group shit, URL shit, and RBE. Man, I'm about my daughter, my family, my money. I don't give a fuck about none of that. Easy. If I could get $100,000 battling you next weekend, book it. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. Fuck all that shit. That shit for the birds. I'm on some realer life shit. I'm thinking about the reasons why I was even in certain circumstances or positions to even get myself lose years of my life. Meanwhile, I'm so drummed up in battle rap. That's how some people, you know what I mean? Or it could be the other side of it. Like, I did have a certain dependency on you. I did have a certain expectation of you. I have people close to me, I swear to God, like, if I ain't get a letter from them a week, we ops when I touch ground. I know I'm exaggerating, but you get the point that I'm making. You know, because what we see as a brotherhood, what did they go through? Because they say to people outside that are really, really with you like that, they do the bid with you. What do they say about your wife, your girl? They bid with you. Your mom, they bid with you. They bid with you. Nobody knows this stuff. But I can't go with some battle rappy, he did a space, even though everybody and their mother's been entertaining that matchup between Rock at some point or another and Easy. Nah. If it's real tension and that's real rumors behind the scenes, then I think it's tied to real life. That's my guess for now, to be continued. All right. Let Rock and Surf start doing interviews or whatever, and then everybody will cover that, and we'll go from there. I think, matter of fact, before I move on, if they did battle, this is going to sound crazy to say because Rock is like a Mount Rushmore candidate, but Rock can actually lose that battle. And I don't think it'll be that bad of an effect because he's always been painted as the number two. He's always been painted as like, like the not running behind, but you guys get my point. I don't want to say it in a way that strips from Rock because Rock is Rock. Rock is a GOAT. But you guys see the imagery of those two guys. Like it's always been like Surf always looked like the leader. You know what I'm saying? It's my shit. Like, so I don't know. I don't know. Like for Surf to lose a battle to Tay Roc, that would be one of the biggest legacy hits on Surf. Like literally on his resume, like a legacy thing. Because it's my shit, the leader of the ship. You the man, and then the younger brother, or the guy that's considered like the number two, the and I'm not talking about no snitching shit or whatever. The Sammy the Bull, I'm the Gotti, you the Sammy, you the number two, you the capo, you Jim back then, I'm Cam back then type shit. You know what I'm saying? And then he loses. If Surf was to get like cleared by Rock, it'd be like it was his shit this whole time. He was just humble enough to step back and let you be arrogant. That would be the picture that get painted. That'd be a big legacy hit. Rock could damn near lose that battle and be like, man, welcome home, man. I love you. You know what I mean? Welcome home, man. Hollow portrayed that a little bit in some of his interviews. he said, part of me taking the math battle is like the reconciliation. Like, let me give you the matchup that I know you want and let you get everything off of your chest, man. Like, it's cool. You know? Just saying, pay attention. All right, let's go to Cassidy and Jay Mills. I'm gonna keep this one quick, and then we're gonna get into that take about cost. I'm doing 3 topics because we haven't got a topic video up in a while. So thank you everybody for holding down the channel and staying in tune. Um, you know, when things move around a lot, I gotta adapt. So, all right, Cassidy and Jay Mills comes up. Shout out to Hip Hop Is Real. And let's see what Cassidy's reaction is. And this isn't the first time. Even I've mentioned this publicly. I mentioned Jay Mills versus Cassidy, but I think the top one that I would want to see is RJ Payne, right? But Cassidy on beat is like, that's what he does every day. So it's always in the air, right?
If a platform or a sponsor or somebody came and said, we got this for you, the money's right, would you rather it be on beat or would you want to battle him traditionally a cappella?
It don't matter. It's all the same for me. Beat.
So that's for anybody.
Yeah, it don't matter.
I just think right now with what Mills was doing on beat,
he's one of the most consistent people ever with that. He's been like that for years. Like at the point where we got to stop even just asking the question. And I'm not saying that towards the interviewer at all, but he's been saying that forever. He don't care. If you want to pay him to battle that person, that's who he's gonna battle. Cass don't give a fuck, and I like that. And none of that diva shit. It shows that warrior mentality. His logo, let's get this chicken. You know what I'm saying? Pay me my price, and I'm gonna overwork. So I respect it. He don't be cherry picking no opponents, man.
I think the fans' interest would be to want to see them in a on beat battle. And not just on wax, like how they do it, like Verbal War Zone and all that other shit. Live.
I'm gonna tell you this: them battling on beat is one thing, and I'll get to that at the end of the take. But them battling face to face on beat, them battling face to face in any format is gonna cost. It's gonna cost because that is a higher visible scenario. Jay Mills is gonna want a pretty penny, and Cassidy is gonna want a pretty penny as well. All right, so. Child to Verbal Warzone, they pull a battle like that off face to face, even if it's on beat, that could be a very high view situation. So let's not say that like it's so easy to do it just because there's a beat involved. If you put them face to face, it's gonna cost.
On beat.
I really don't think that'd be a good battle though. Like I said, like I was already lit popping when his managers first got him. Started getting lit, like, you know what I'm saying? I just don't think that'd be a good idea. I think he'd be just better off doing what he's doing with these other niggas, like taking advantage of these other niggas on beat to show like his experience with making music. I think that's beneficial for him and for the culture. So for us to go through it, somebody got to lose. Of course, it's going to be him. So I don't want that to happen. You know what I'm saying?
You know what's so crazy about
Good bad.
Cassidy's take there? He's supposed to say everything that he said. And if you speak with Cass or if you know Cass enough, he's not even attempting to be disrespectful or to be abrasive. Disrespect is actually a reach. There's nothing disrespectful about what he said there at all. But he's not even trying to be abrasive. He's just defending or speaking on his own confidence, his own pen. Like as much as we in the battle rap culture rile up all of the views and the energy and the buzz around him taking the stage and battling a cappella, his whole career is still based on music. That's what took him around the world. That's what put plaques on his wall. That's what paid out millions of dollars. That's what had him on the charts. Those are his biggest accolades. That's what has him at award shows and shit. You know what I'm saying? So he's supposed to like on beat, like this is what I do. This is what I've always done. You know what I mean? So he says everything that he's supposed to say there. But Cass has a way of saying things that I feel like people get abrased by, even if they shouldn't. Now, Jay Mills could watch that clip right there and have the clear lane, and he would be justified to say, what? Oh, I like that competitive talk right there. Okay, here's track one. He would be justified because Jay Mills still seems to be in a spot with, the on beat battles where he wants it to happen, if not organically, at least some type of exchange or call out or something. You know what I mean? I said don't play the waiting game on that. Just drop on people that's not even battle rappers. Fuck it. Do a verse on anybody. You know what I mean? But anyway, he would have the clear lane just out of response to a clip like that. But Jay Mills got to be careful because then you run into shit like, oh, you're reaching. Cass, he didn't really say nothing too crazy. Here goes this all. So Jay Mills got that space around him until unless he fully commits to, I'm just dropping on anybody. I don't give a fuck. It's all hip hop. It's all competition. But Cass didn't say nothing wrong there. I think it would be a great battle. Ball wise, they both rap their ass off. Cassidy is very capable in 24 hours giving you 100 bar verse. Just bars and bars and bars. It'll go on for 10 minutes straight rapping, no hook needed type shit, right? Cass always ends, well, I shouldn't say always. He can get his hands on very good production. I'm not saying that he's gonna go find another Ron Browse and like that. I know people love Ron Browse production, but he gets good production. You know what I'm saying? It's the visuals that I'd be curious about. Jay Mills is putting out 10 out of 10 production from a visual standpoint, directing standpoint, edited standpoint, so that's where I'd be like, yo, Cass, are you gonna come to the table like that as well? But I think it would be a good battle. And I wouldn't even try to call a winner prior to hearing a single bar. Get the fans this, man. We're all dying for some good rapping, some good exchanges, some good battles, man. Or else we're gonna go back to talking about drama as always, right? So shout out to Cass on this one, man. He said exactly what I would expect a Cass to say. All right, so everybody don't overdo it. All right, now the topic about upcoming cards and the weight on a card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I got 5 cards. All right, let's start. And I think I got them in date order. So the first one is this one. It's going down May 30th. It was announced on May 19th. Damn near like 11 days prior. All right, so outside 7, Cortez versus Hansel. I'm not that familiar with Hansel. Swamp versus Loso, good battle. Sheet Happens versus Mike P, good battle. The Saga versus Appa. I'm not that familiar with Appa. Mac Myron versus Justice. I'm not spelled with an S. I'm not familiar with Justice. Top Floor Loot versus Gorilla Monsoon. I'm not really familiar with Gorilla Monsoon. So mid-range type of card, right? App only type of card expectation. I seen people even debating, was it Danny Myers? Shout out to Danny Myers. If this was actually a Kiss the Ring card, I think that would be a reach for anybody to assume that. If there's anything that people would just have to drum up on here, you could say, all right, Mike P had a fallout with URL. I think there was an apology. He came back. Cortez, he had something fairly recent with URL. Was it this year or last year? I don't even want to get into the details of that. He is doing interviews about, some discrepancies or miscommunication, whatever, with URL, and he's back. Mac Myron, I don't know if he's had any public discrepancies with them. So I'll leave that there. This ain't no Kiss the Ring type of lineup or matchmaking to me, okay? Like, that would be a reach to me. I mean, but it's a mid-range type of card. There's nothing on here. Like, if this was a pay-per-view card, don't think that this is a URL that I'm going to do this to most of what we're about to go through. There's nothing on this card that would make me stop for a Saturday, and it's not for sale. It's going to the app, so good to feed their app owner subscribers, right? There's nothing on this card that would make me say, "Oh, Saturday is going down. Let me stop what I'm doing and cop this pay-per-view." All right, now let's go to the next one. The next one is T-Top's card. Now, T-Top card on paper is the best joint, right? Coming up. Now, you got some people on here that people's questioning, of course, deservingly so, right? But you got T-Top, he replaces A-Verb with Jazz. Jazz always consistent, going to give you a good showing. That's going to be an angled up battle. I like that. Tay Roc versus Old Solo could be interesting. Chess versus A-Ward. That's my favorite matchup probably to see. I mean, it would be Nitty and Twerk, but you're not supposed to rely on Twerk until he gives like a year straight of whatever. You know what I'm saying? I like Chess and A-Ward a lot. But Nitty and New Jersey Twerk makeup battle. Charlie Clips versus Anderson Buress. That'll be a funny one, probably. Drugs versus Project Prime. Don't know Project Prime. And the last two guys I'm not too familiar with either. On paper, very, very nice lineup. A lot of talent, a lot of big names on here. Some GOATs on here. Some Mount Rushmore candidates on here. So T-Top May 30th, he's got something worth talking about. This right here is something is May 30th a Saturday? Let me see. It's this Saturday. I'll probably be buying this pay-per-view. No bullshit. Some of these matchups and some of these names is worth me checking out. Okay. What's next up? And I'm wishing great karma to this fucking card, man. If anybody that missed the first card, why am I still acting like? See, that's the problem. Motherfuckers be getting 1,000 chances. I ain't even gonna finish that comment. I'll take it back. I ain't saying shit. All right, Froze. Shout out to Froze. Froze got a card. Froze launched his own platform. Frozenberg TV presents. Obviously, if that's what it's called, you better be putting yourself as the main event for your first time out, right? Frozenberg versus Swamp, main event. It's going down July 25th. Dope matchup. So Swamp is on a couple cards. Swamp is active, huh? He's active. But you got this. This is a gritty matchup right here. I like this. All right, he's putting on for PA. Shout out to Froze with this one. I'm wishing him a lot of luck on this. Froze, next time you're going to do a card, give me a call, man. I might sponsor some shit with you, man. We worked that out behind the scenes. Sponsor a battle with you, man. I'll fuck with you. So, you know what I mean, give me a call next time you're doing a card. All right. Next up, though. Oh, wait, hold on. Actually, let me stay here for a minute. I don't have Froze's whole card. The first two, I had the whole card in front of us, right? For Froze's, I see this one right here. Frozenberg TV presents. Take this one. So Jay versus Shice Raw. I like that battle. I like that. And I also see, what is this? Oh, Coffee Brown. I see him tweet that there was a cancellation. Well, at least you had a heads up. So shout out to Coffee if you gave Frozenberg a fucking heads up instead of everybody figuring out by the time they buy the pay-per-view on Saturday, July 25th. Because I believe that this is pay-per-view. So I only see two matchups. Two good matchups and a dope main event to watch. Okay. But July 25th. I'm getting to the topic, y'all. Give me a second. We got two more cards. We got this one right here. Free Geechee. Loyalty 2. Free Gotti is the name of the card by the Riot. So the platform's still functioning while Gotti is sitting down right now. So shout out to the folks over at the Riot doing that. That's dope. A-Ward versus Snake Eyes. I don't know if this is the main event. I don't have the rest of the card in front of us, but this is also going down June 27th. So a month away. Okay. And A-Ward versus Snake Eyes. That's a cool battle. I like that matchup. And last but not least, is this the latest one out? I think this is why I'm doing this the last one. Oh, no, it's June 27th. But okay, so you got that's another one that's about a month out. So I think the Riot is the furthest one out. Okay. You got the Easy versus Av announcement that we saw. I saw the full trailer. I don't see the full flyer, so I just pulled up the main one. But the full trailer, now I'm going to start to get into the topic. The full trailer, the other matchups on the card, and I'm failing to remember them right now, that they're not memorable. They're not memorable. And I can say the same thing about almost every card thus far that presented a full card that we just went through, with the exception of T-Tops. And not just because he's got the big names, but I mean, that's what people are really getting in line for, buying the pay-per-views for, coming to these buildings for. You know, when you got 50 people in the building, you know, it's just like you wonder why. It's like we're not getting a ton of events so far this year that are really capturing and keeping the fans' attention. And I could take this down because it's not about Easy's card. I don't want everybody to start reaching. Here's the thing. We just went through 1, 2, 3, 4, I think 5 different cards, right? One of them's all the way out in July, bunch of them like a month ago. URL is the only one, pretty much. And if we go back to Let's Talk Battle Rap, LTBR, if we go back to them, look at the caption here once again. Breaking news going down May 30th, and this post was May 19th. URL does that very, very frequently. They will announce cards that's like 2 weeks away. Now, granted, to get away with that, you have to have a strong following. You have to have a strong reputation. The fans have to really still feel like you're going to deliver, or you're the leader of the culture. So no matter what, it's worth checking out. They can get away with it, but they've built that up. The battlers couldn't have known about this 2 weeks ago, or they could have known about it a month ago. Who knows? But the rollout starts so close to the event where you're able to stay in the fans' minds a little bit easier. Oh, isn't that like next week? Like, you know, that type shit. Whereas, for example, Easy's card, Easy versus Av, is a good battle. I want to see that battle. Many people want to see that battle. But the rest of the card holds no weight towards maintaining a fan's attention for a month or a month plus. There's no other matchups on the card that's doing that. And the same thing goes for I can say, you know what? I'm gonna leave that alone. I ain't gonna say that. But you guys see my point. So the weight of a card, when it comes down to card construction, I know, I get it. The biggest piece of it is the budget. Like, if you can afford to put together a blackout, then you're gonna have 8 battles. That's all gonna be something that you might be like, oh, I'll pay $1 to see that. Or if it's a max out or a gnome or a summer madness, I get it, right? But if you don't have that type of budget and you got like up and comers in your co-main event, or filling out the rest of the card, and you just got like your one hook at the top, there's not enough weight there unless that is a mega match. Because look at the field. You got 2 different cards that we announced, I think is on the same date. So T-Top and URL is both on this Saturday, right? July 25th, is that the same day? No, you got July 25th for Frozenberg TV and July 27th for the Riot. And I think Easy's is June 25th, right? No, I'm sorry. The Riot is June 27th. June 27th. Yeah, Froze is the only one that's all the way out in July. The end of July, it looks like. So you got Easy is in June. Riot is in June 27th. Yeah, I mean, that's the field. And some of them even got the same battlers on them, like Swamp, right? So if you're going to have a budget or a card that doesn't have the type of firepower that makes you say, yo, I'm stopping what I'm doing this Saturday, you got to announce closer to the date. Now, I get it. People be thinking that I announce it far out enough to give people a chance to travel. I think in this day and age in battle rap, you're hurting yourself. Now, if this was 6 years ago, 7 years ago, yeah, give yourself enough time, because battle rap is so on. People love being in the building so much that give the fans at least a month to let me call out of work. Let me make sure I got a babysitter. Let me get my money together. Let me get my car, my rental, my hotel, all this, right? Yeah. Now, look at the turnouts to these events. Niggas ain't really showing out like that to somebody, especially if they're not big drawing cards that have a lot of firepower on it. So if you don't got a lot of firepower on your card like T-Top, because T-Top, when he did the card the first time, you could see there's a lot of people in the building, right? If you don't got a lot of firepower there, then why are you expecting somebody to want to go spend $1,000 for your $50 stream? $1,000 meaning I gotta set up all of this stuff, take off of work, I gotta get my hotel, my flight, or even if it's driving, like you got to understand, you got to pay attention, you got to read the room to the climate of battle rap. The climate of battle rap is like everybody's talking about it dying. So it's like blah. So why should you expect everybody to want to drive to your shit? Neither. No. If you got a mid or a mediocre type of card or like mid-level or up and comers in your code, like smaller names filling out a majority of your card, then you shouldn't be banking or doing business or budgeting based on half of this venue is going to be filled up from people driving 4 hours away or flying in. No, they're not. You got to be budgeting for locals and locals only. And if that's the case, then pick a good city that you think turns out towards events. Why do you think for a second people were hype over Houston? Because they felt like, oh, Houston is showing up and showing out. The locals. All right. So if you don't have a hook card, like if you don't see the bloggers doing but one reaction to your announcement, one reaction, one blog, that's it. You know, if you're not getting a week worth of coverage, continued coverage, if you don't plan on doing face-offs to turn attention back, you know, in your direction 2 weeks out, and you're not doing all that type of stuff, you don't got drawing names on the card, you need to pull a URL and announce your shit 2 to 3 weeks out. That does not mean that that's when the battles were booked. It just means that that's when the fans find out. So you have more of an opportunity to keep their attention, because there's a lot of what we just went through that's just going to be here today, gone tomorrow. It's just going to come and go, you know? So little advice based on reading the room and where we're at with things. The rollout will always matter, people. All right. Especially in today's age. All right, I'm done with that topic. Hop over to the other channel. Like I mentioned, I'm gonna get off a quick Drake topic over there. There's some other topics I'm backlogged on. I'm catching up now, but we'll be back.